Alright, what I have here today is a couple of, I got my little set here for ice fishing. I take it with me. And what I'm going to show you here is what I have and what my equipment is. Because ice fishing season has already started and probably going to be heading out tomorrow, Friday. I'll just show you what I got here. I got a Cabela's here. It's a Cabela's combo ice fishing rod. It's a 26-inch medium rod. It's great for perch, great for trout, for those bigger perch and bigger trout. And this I got this Cabela's premium reel here, and it's equipped here with Suffix Ice Magic 4, I believe, yes, 4-pound test. 4-pound test fishing line, neon orange, as you can see. And that's my combo, and that's my first combo. As you can see, I have another one here. I actually have made this combo myself. I don't know if you've ever seen this type of rod before. It's a Riversider rod, and it's a very cheap rod. I bought it at a local bait shop for $8. It's very, very sensitive. Let me show you what I mean. It's got that really ultra sensitive bend. Just gonna move this out of the way for a second, because I want to show you something. So if you can see that bend on that rod, it's very, very sensitive, and mostly for things like these, you would use small little jig heads like these, and others that I'll show you later. And this is a, and the reel I have here is a Fluger President ultralight reel. It's the smallest they make, and I don't know if you ever heard of this brand of line before, but I got on this rod. I have Straft ABR, very thin stuff. It's 0.12 millimeter, I believe. Yeah, it's a 0.12 millimeter. It's a 3.96 pound test line, and for that big of a pound test line, that's pretty thin. As you can see here, I don't know if you can see that well, but it's very thin stuff. And then there's no way you'll ever this stuff will really fool the fish, this line. Okay, next I'll show you the lures I have here. I got a couple of them. All right, I'll first show you my Rapala jigs. I got a lot of them. Got a couple today. I got one today. Got a couple weeks ago, and just getting ready for the season. And what I got here, one I bought today. I went actually out fishing today as the first day of the season, and I caught one on this clown Rapala jig, and I also caught one. Well, my friend actually caught one on a Swedish pimple, which I'll show you how that looks like later. So these are all the Rapala jigs I have. I've got two of the same one right there, the two black ones. I got the clown, the perch. The perch I got in the smaller size. As you can see, it's a bit smaller than these bigger ones. But as you can see, this is a I believe 1/8 ounce, and for those for those smaller perch that are aggressive, they'll hit that. And those crappies, the crappies like the small ones. I mean, they'll hit the bigger ones too. The bigger ones, though, are for those more aggressive perch and pickerel. Next, I have, like I said, I was going to show you the Swedish pimple. I got two sizes of them. First, I'll show you the bigger size. I got this one, I think a 1/4 ounce, and it's a pretty big lure compared to the jigging wraps. And these are good for those bigger trout. If you ever go ice fishing where there's trout, big trout will hit this. If you tip it on with a mealworm or a mousey or waxworm, they'll hit that. The trout like more live bait, actual real bait, more than those artificial gulps like Gulp Alive, which I'll show you later on in the video. And so So there's one size, and then I got the smaller size. And as you can see, it's definitely smaller. You can see it's got the yellow little tag instead of the red one, because when they come in the original packaging, they come with a red tag already on it, and they come with a replacement yellow one, which you can switch if you want. So I did that. And lastly, of my those smaller jigging spoons, I got the Acme Castmaster. Very great little jigging spoon. I've caught perch, crappie, and bluegills even. I've caught some trout on it as well. Those three are just really great lures. The bigger one especially will be better for those bigger trout. These Rapalas, like all these sizes, these 3/16 ounce sizes right there, are good for those more aggressive trout, all these four. And for those aggressive smaller perch and aggressive crappies, they love the smaller ones. If you ever find any smaller ones in these colors, which it's tough to find, but if you find any of them like that, then that's your best bet. Next, I have a lot of Acme Phoebes. I don't know if you ever heard of them. I got 3 colors in 2 sizes. Alright, so I got the 1/16, I believe, or 1/32, or I actually forgot, but these are the smaller ones, and they come with the snap swivels so that you can change lures quickly, which is, I think, pretty cool. Then you have the 1/8 ounce right here, which is just a touch bigger than the other ones. And I apologize for the earlier size. I couldn't find out. I actually just found out and thought to myself, it's 1/12 ounce. This is 1/12. These are 1/8. The 1/12 are good for those big perch. Bigger perch like these smaller little Phoebes. And then when you get to these bigger Phoebes, like these 1/8 ounce, the pickerel and the trout will like them. So I think that's something you should know. So next, I'll show you my jigs. Now the jigs, I have a couple, because the jigs I use on that smaller rod I told you about, that already had a jig tied on, but I'm just going to explain to you what I mean by the other jigs I have. I got a couple colorful ones, and then those gold ones I got as well. Okay, so let me just show you what I have. So here are the typical jigs. I'm just going to take a couple more here. Take all of them out. I don't want to hide anything from you. So so here are the jigs, and what happens is you jig these and you just tip anything on them. Just tip waxies, mealworms, mousies, waxworms, anything really. Even salmon eggs. You put salmon eggs on there, you jig them, and you'll catch those really fussy perch that won't really like to hit other baits. At sometimes they'll love the salmon eggs. So if you put a salmon egg like these, Mike's Quality salmon eggs, just tip one of them on, and I guarantee you'll catch them because of the scent. Believe it or not, yeah, salmon eggs do work. Next, I'll show you my other preserved baits that I have. I have the Gulp Alive Waxies in the green color. Alright. And then next, I have the Gulp Alive Maggots in the white color. As you can see, they're both very great baits. They'll last you a while. As you can see, there's like maybe 300 of them in there. They'll last you a while. Good, solid 3 years of ice fishing if you never use them in the spring, summer, or fall. And they'll just be really good lures to use. And what I've been noticing about any of these lures, any of them basically, I've caught perch, trout, crappies, pickerel. That's your best bet. Even muskies. The muskies, if you ever go to a muskie lake, believe it or not, this small little thing that you might think, because you use those big spoons for the muskies, but That thing, that's the best thing you got. Just tip it with a mealworm or just jig it yourself, and trust me, that muskie will come if you know where they are and you got that fish finder and everything. But like I said, this stuff is your best bet. And what I've been realizing is all these lures, you just jig them on on any lake. You try any lake. I've fished maybe 20, maybe 30 lakes in my lifetime, ice fished, and I've always noticed that in 20 foot of water is where the perch like to sit. 2-3 feet off the bottom in 20 foot of water. If you have a hummingbird fish finder, take one of those, an ice 35, ice 45, or ice 55, if you know what I'm talking about. Take one of those and just put the sonar in there, and you'll see there's a lot of perch in 20 foot of water towards the bottom. 2-3 feet off the bottom, you'll see schools running through all the time. If you're going for those trout and crappie, they're a little bit more of a fish that prefer a different depth depending on the fish. If you're looking for crappies that run in schools, your best bet is toward mid-depth, which is like 10 foot of water in 20 foot or 30 or 15 foot of water in 30 foot. If you're looking for bluegills or panfish, which will usually hit these smaller jigs, tipped with either these preserved baits, the salmon eggs, or the mealworms, waxworms, or mousies, then you would usually fish shallower water towards 8 feet, or maybe 5 feet even. But the only thing about 5 foot of water you gotta watch out is there might still be some cabbage in there, weeds. So you have to watch out and keep it a little bit off the bottom when you get there, because you might get hung up and you might lose lures. But if you know what you're doing and you find the fish and you know what depth they are, usually the panfish, the bluegills, they'll usually be at maybe 1 foot or 2 feet off the bottom on 5 foot of water. So one little crank and you'll have the fish if you nail them. So that's all I gotta say, and these are just some lures I have that I use for jigging, and I hope you catch something.